I know. Hopefully you're doing
Buck,
well.
how are you?
I can't say enough of just,
Councilman, how are you? Attorney.
Councilman, how are you, Joe?
Council.
Weather's done before 8:15, okay?
What's that?
Weather's done before 8:15.
Esquire.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Never felt right saying it. Esquire.
Hey, Steve.
Fall backwards. This weekend. This coming weekend. Saturday. This coming weekend, right?
They really need to get rid of it. I mean, it's.
I had to find out.
Shut this thing off.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for attending the meeting this evening. Tonight, we're having the regular city council meeting of November 2nd, 2023 at 5 o'clock. Roll call.
Mr. Billy?
Here.
Mr. Vasaki?
Here.
Mr. Winfrey?
Here.
Mr. Shuhon?
Here.
Mayor Gurke?
Here. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any comments on agenda items only? Yes, go ahead, Kelly. State your name and your address, please.
Hi, my name's Kelly Trott. I live at 135 Virginia Avenue, and this is for item 257, authorizing a traffic study. We're asking for your support. I have a few neighbors here. Our street is straightaway, and everyone tends to speed. So I've lived on Virginia Avenues since 1993 and have gone, out of state and back. So it's been an issue for decades. My parents had looked into trying to get speed bumps, and I think they weren't approved because of snow plows, I think. But the problem is that we have a dance studio at the bottom of our neighborhood, and so all of our traffic pattern issues are exacerbated when dance is in session. We have tried our own traffic calming measures as a neighborhood. We've done staggered parking. We've put signs up. We have asked people directly to slow down. We have asked for the support from the dance studio, and they've been very helpful in getting the messaging out to their dance parents. And I don't want to say that every dance parent speeds, and there are people that speed who aren't dance parents as well. But it's just the way the street's designed, it's really fast. It's like they turn the corner or they come up from Barton Mill and they just accelerate into the street because it's a straightaway. So we don't know the exact path forward. I obtained petitions, if you need a copy, in support of stop signs at the on Virginia at the intersections of J Lane and Cecil Street, and every resident on the street signed in support. So we don't, like I said, I think we've just exhausted all of our efforts on our end as a neighborhood, and we're looking to see if we could get help from the city on a path forward to improving safety and livability on our street, especially with all our little kids running around. and I don't know if you want to add to it. Okay?
Hi, my name is Terry Shazer. I live at 155 Virginia Avenue. I'm a neighbor of Kelly's. I can attest to the speed. It's pretty much all the time on the street. We live at the last house on the right, which is on the curve that takes you down to the dance studio. We've seen several near misses there. My husband had to run out one day and grab a little girl that was on a bike as a truck was coming around the corner, and there's always cars parked there, and there's no way he would have seen her. So he ran out and grabbed her so she wouldn't have gotten hit. There's school bus traffic on that road. Most of the time I'd say they're slow, sometimes no. So our biggest concern is that corner and the cars that park on that corner, because you have a car that parks on the road this way coming into the turn, and then you have cars that will park out on the road on the left side that's right after the turn. So a lot of times it gets very congested there, almost near crashes. People have to back up. So that's just a big concern of ours. We don't want to see anybody get hit. I don't have little kids, but there's a lot of little kids on our street, and that's what we like about that neighborhood, you know what I mean? Because it's a family neighborhood, and we'd like to have it safe for them. Okay? Thank you.
I forgot to mention, if you do vote to approve the traffic study, can it be done during the weekday and the after the session? Because I'm representative of the issues that we're seeing, however best possible. And if you don't support a traffic study, you can let us know what our next steps are.
Very good. Thank you.
I believe those traffic studies are at least a week, aren't they? 7
Yeah,
days.
they're typically a period
Yeah,
of time,
yeah.
so.
Yes, I will hear.
I don't know if there's anybody here from K2 Engineering, but no, okay. But I know there are at least 7 days, Kelly.
Oh, okay.
Mrs.
Thanks.
Truck.
I didn't know how it would help.
Any other comments on agenda items only?
My name's Alan Shazer. I live at 155 Virginia Avenue. The corner my wife is talking about, Virginia Avenue dead ends, it turns left there. Maybe 2 months ago, my neighbors across the street parked right there on the street. Now they have a driveway going down the garage. They could park in the back, but they prefer not to. I'm not blaming them, but what I am saying, when that car came around that corner, that truck, the cars are sitting there. Absolutely never seen this kid. If I would not been standing in the front yard, this boy would have been ran over about this high. She's out there playing. We got a lot of kids play, ride scooters up and down to the park. And there's no slowing down. I mean, and like the guy even said to me, he said, I'm in this pickup, but that car is sitting, when I come around, I don't see nothing. So I don't know if I want to say that the neighbors park there and they shouldn't park. In my opinion, I think from the telephone pole to the corner, you shouldn't be allowed to park because you blind spot everything. The time they come around, they're already straightened up. And this little boy, I mean, and I spoke to the mayor about this, about speed bumps, and that can't be done now. But I just hate to see something happen, and then we say, hey, you know, this was addressed, but we never did nothing. And I'm afraid that's what's going to happen. Halloween night, like my wife said, congestion, yeah, it was really bad. I mean, the 2 cars here, 1 here, and 2 over here parked. They're parked down the street. Well, nobody can go no place. It's not like a lot of space where somebody can move because you've got a car blocking the lane. But my main concern is these kids. I see it almost every day, and it just seems like nobody wants to do nothing about it. I just wish somebody could do something.
Are there no parking signs around there?
Pardon me, sir?
Are there any no parking signs around there?
There's no parking signs. There's a pole there. Imagine this alley coming up, and I want to make a right here on Virginia Avenue. There's a telephone pole there, and the house is there, and he has a driveway down there. but they prefer to park out front a lot of times. I don't think anybody should be able to park from the pole up to the corner of that road where it comes around. Now, I'm not a traffic instructor, I don't know, but I mean, I know what I've seen with my own eyes, I know what I had to do with my own self. And I just don't, I think something should be done there too.
Right. Now, Tim,
I would
if we
appreciate
did
it.
do a traffic study, would that also be taken into consideration? Would they be able to say that this section should not be parked on as well as doing, stop signs? Or
So there's any kind of signage that the city would want to put up or is considering putting up. You have to have a traffic study that's specifically geared towards that specific sign or traffic signal. So it could be done in conjunction with another traffic study with respect to the parking along there. So it would be essentially two separate traffic studies for the same area, one for the stop sign that's proposed and then one for parking and then designating one or some area as non-parking.
Okay, so then if we did want to do that specific park or traffic study, that would have to be requested by the community, and then it would come to council again, and then go from there.
Traditionally, yeah, that's
Okay.
how the cities handle those, starting out as citizen requests and then following up.
Perfect.
And they may say, I have no place to park, but I checked neighbors before they lived there and neighbors before they parked in the back. He kind of decided to fence that off, or he don't want to park in his back. Now, I don't know what the rules or regulations is on that. I'm not going to try to make none. But like Kelly said, these cars come up that road way too fast. Because a school bus does it once in a while too. I mean, it's just a matter of time. Somebody's going to get hurt. It really is. So we're going to lay it on your laps and you can deal with it, please.
Thanks.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any other comments on agenda items only? And thank you all for your comments, and we'll look into all that, okay? Thank you. I have a few things to bring us up to date, what's going on in the city, and I'll keep it short. October 7th, we had Faith in Blue event at Bailey Park. As always, it was well attended, very successful. I want to thank the Clergy Association, Fire, Police, and the Sheriff's Departments for all their help. We had the annual kickball tournament. The city police won. Thank you, Chief. Good job. And we're looking forward to next year's event also. A special thank you always goes out to Joe Walkus and his team, making our parks look nice, just not for Faith in Blue, but for every event. And I really want to thank Joe and for all the work that has done. And in the future, we're looking for more improvements in our parks and a successful year next year as also. All the parks are closed now until next spring, and thanks to everyone else that made it possible for their volunteer work at the parks. I want a special thank you to Joe Schuhan, our councilman. He headed up the recreation department. And last month, Joe, I was remiss in not thanking you for pitching in the softball game. I think, how many innings did you throw that day?
All 7.
7 innings.
7 innings.
Are you up for next year, Joe?
Sure.
Okay, we'll look forward to it. Joe did a fantastic job, and I meant to thank you last meeting, and
That's all right.
I failed to do so. With the paving of the Sheepskins Trail, I hope everyone has seen behind Autoland and O'Reilly's. That would be the last section that the city has done. Now you can walk from Pennsylvania Avenue to Beeson Boulevard, hike and bike. I want to thank Johnny and his team for squeezing that into their work. They're short-staffed, but all I do is ask and Johnny comes through. And it's tough, but I appreciate it, John. We're looking forward to the next section now. It extends down Beeson Boulevard behind Caparella's and go to the North Union Corridor, and those plans are in the making, so we'll keep you abreast on what's going on with the Sheepskin Trail, but I think we've made some progress and look forward to some more progress. Special thanks to John McCune and Elks Lodge 370 for their help in beautifying the trail. They did some work down there here this past week or so, and we'll report more extensively on their project at the next meeting or in the near future. Halloween parade last Wednesday. If anyone was there, there was a lot of people and it was a good time. A special thanks to Chief DeWitt for assisting in making a new lineup, making the transition for the traffic a lot smoother than what it was in the past. Chief Kahn, Buck Griffith, I see both you guys are here from the fire department. Special thank you for the trunk or treat event. Every year it's a success, and a lot of people there, a good time for everybody. And thanks to the whole fire department for all they do. Trick or treat night was Tuesday night. Good weather for the event. Again, thanks for the police and the fire. I can't say it enough. You guys are at every event, and we thank you very much for your dedication to the city, and thank you for being out and making sure everyone had a good time, and most importantly, everyone was safe. Christmas in the Square, November 24th. It's a Friday after Thanksgiving. It'll be downtown. It's focused it on Story Square. Santa will highlight the event. Special thanks to Lauren Mahoney Yeoman for setting up this event like she does every year, along with Crystal and the Redevelopment Authority that stepped in. So I'm looking forward to a really nice event, and make sure you get out and see what all they have planned for us. And maybe not a real pleasant conversation, but I'll put this off, and I think it's time to address it a little more than what we've been. The business licenses and the landlord registration fees. What we've done in the past, send the bill out, and hopefully you get a bill, you pay it. That's the way it's supposed to work. But it hasn't worked that way. I'm not saying that no one has paid, but it's been down. The income's been down, and I think if one person pays, everyone should pay. We're all getting the same services. So we're going to have to pursue other avenues for collection. What we're planning on doing, Tim, you have a letter ready for our licensing department. We're going to send out a letter again. It'll be certified this time, Tim?
So this one, because technically we're not even required to provide notice, it's just a courtesy notice as a reminder for folks to make sure that they're coming in and getting their landlord registrations and their licenses in place. So this one's not required, just as a cost savings measure in the city, we're not required to send the letter by certified mail, but as a courtesy notice, we'll be sending it out.
And what it's going to state, if you don't pay your bill, you're going to have a date with the magistrate. It's as simple as that. And it's a lot cheaper to come in and pay here, pay your landlord registration fee, pay your business license, because if it ends up at the magistrate, it's going to cost you a lot more money, and it's going to stick. And we're set on doing it. I don't like to be that harsh, and I don't want to sound harsh, but what's fair is fair. So that's about all I have this evening. Thank you for your time. That's all I have.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to receive the report of the treasurer for the month of October 2023. Be and the same is hereby received and filed. Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to accept the minutes of the October 5th, 2023 regular council meeting. Be and the same is hereby accepted and filed. Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown. Council hereby directs the Director of Accounts and Finance to make payment of the following invoices for services rendered or products procured for the City of Uniontown for October 2023 invoices. In the General Fund, $39,828.52. Sewer Fund, $130,418.63. Recreation, $4,042.76. Highway, $865.25. Off-street, $418.30. Recycling, $551.94. Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
Before I place a vote tonight, I just want to thank everybody in every department for keeping the lines down in the general fund. $39,000, under $40,000 is good. But we have to close out the year with watching what we spend. A big pension payment has gone out. That's cut what we had in the account down. Okay, so we have a few more payrolls that we have to make for the year. We really have to be tight on what we're spending. seriously, emergency, and if it's something that we can hold off at this moment and wrap it in. Sewer fund, big expenditure, but we have, Penvest loan, different loans going out and whatnot. We've had a good collection. But right where we're at with that, we've got to hold the line. So in these separate funds, we really have to watch. Finish out the year good and get back in strong next year. We have to hold the line. Right now, we're still clipping down on a small portion that we still have to come up with for the budget. And a lot of this right now at the end of the year is going to help us out for the future. Keep it in mind, at the beginning of the year, we got to make payroll. So we got to have as much money in the account as we can to go forward without touching anything that we have. Sorry for being long on that, but yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to approve a refund to Patricia Powell, a sewer refund in the amount of $100 of 28 Kramer Avenue. Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to authorize the city clerk to advertise for gasoline and fuel for all city vehicles for 2024. Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to authorize payment to Costable Construction for completion of 2023 paving bid in the amount of $111,664.36 from the Liquid Fuels Fund. Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown, whereas the City of Uniontown sponsors the City of Uniontown Fireman's Pension Plan, and whereas said plan allows for the city to annually waive or reduce the required employee contributions. Whereas, based upon the computation of the plan actuary, the city now desires to waive the required member contributions for calendar year 2024 only. Now therefore be it resolved the second day of November 2023 that the city waives the member contributions to the Fireman's Pension Plan for calendar year 2024 only, and further be it resolved that a copy of this resolution shall be held in the Fireman's Plan's permanent record so as to document the action of the city. Whereas the City of Uniontown sponsors the City of Uniontown Police Pension Plan, and whereas said police plan is set at 5% contribution rate until subject to future change. Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown, based on the recommendation of the plan actuary, Dunbar, Bender, and Zapp, the allocation of the $442,919.50 2023 state aid for the City of Uniontown's police and fire pension plans are as follows. Police pension plan, $325,752.50. Fire pension plan, $117,167. City of Uniontown additional obligation to police plan, $24,175.50. Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to approve payment of compensated absences to retired Sergeant Wayne Brown as follows. Days remaining in 2023, 604 hours of sick time, 72 hours of vacation, 16 personal, with a total of $692 at $31.69 per hour, $21,929.48 for 23. Days remaining for 24, sick 120 hours, vacation 184 hours, personal 56 hours, for a total of 360 hours at $39.69 for $11,408.40. In addition, a clothing allowance of $1,000. Total accrued payout as of 11/1/2023, $34,337.88. Mr. Billy?
So this resolution and the very next resolution, these two, these are things that are unforeseen that you're not thinking about when it comes time to do the budget and what you're going to allocate for these. Both of these individuals are owed this and deserve this. So, but these are the unforeseen things that creep up right at the end of the year when we're trying to hold that line. And yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
These hours are earned and should be paid, so absolutely yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to approve payment of compensated absences to former Patrolman Colton Krekel as follows. Remaining days for 2023, 45 hours of sick at $27.12 for a total of $1,220.40. Remaining days for 2024, 120 hours of sick, 80 vacation, 56 hours of personal for a total of 256 hours at $27.12, totaling $6,942.72. An additional $1,000 clothing allowance. Total accrued payout as of 11/1/23, $9,163.12. Mr. Vasaki?
Again, these are earned hours, so yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
The only question I have is why are they getting money for 2024? Yeah.
So we work on our hours. The time that we get earned for next year is based off of the hours that we worked in the year previous. So contractually, it's been this way since at least before I started here. Whatever your department works on that facet that you earn, the time you earn for 2024 is based off the hours you work. So the first year that you were here, the first 12 months, you earn one personal day for every 2 months of work. So the first year the officer or employee is with the city, they have 0 earned time. So they're working that first year for their allotment. So we earn it for the next year.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Good question, Councilman.
Thank you.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to accept the quote from RT Design 38 for ProGuard front partition and ProGuard rear partition for police car number 4 with installation at a cost of $1,400. Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to appoint Arthur Ruby Jr. to the City of Uniontown Recreation Board for the following 5-year staggered term, October 6, 2023 through October 5, 2026. Mr. Billy?
Absolutely yes to Mr. Ruby.
Excuse me, Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes, and I thank Mr. Ruby.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to approve the Uniontown Downtown Business District Authority sponsored event, Christmas in the Square, November 24th, 2023, to include street closure as approved by the Chief of Police. Mr. Billy?
Yes to approve the sponsor of downtown business district.
Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to approve application by DeMarco's Bistro and Cantina to the PA Liquor Control Board for an event permit for the sale of alcohol at Christmas in the Square. Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
No, and the reason no is I do not believe that alcohol should be sold in the square. Okay, when we're doing family-oriented and family-friendly events, alcohol is not included. I come from the bar business. Alcohol is not around kids, and that's just what it's supposed to be, and we should not promote that. We have some future ideas for some other areas, but before we do that, we actually have to come up with language that, states a certain area. In prior years, whenever we've done events downtown, we have dedicated the 911 lot for sales of alcoholic beverages, because you can contain it and you can make sure that no one under 21 is there. And I don't believe in this. And I think that's something that should have been thought about before everyone took the vote on it. And in no way am I saying no, that I don't want anybody to partake in alcoholic or adult beverages. I just don't think that wrapped around Christmas time and selling alcohol for Christmas when we're doing our Christmas event, it should be done. And we should have thought about that. So it's no.
Mayor Gurke?
No. Thank you, Chair.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to authorize the Uniontown Downtown Business District Authority to collect peddler fees for Christmas in the Square event. Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
I'd like to go back and touch just real quick too, because I like the Markethouse. It's a great place, and I like the fact that Jared and Chris want to expand and do things downtown. So please don't recognize that as that. I just don't agree with having those sales. I'm sorry. I just want to touch base again.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to hereby adopt and submit to DEP for its approval as a revision of the official sewage facilities plan of the municipality of Fayette County Community Action Beeson Townhome Sewage Facilities Planning Module, which is attached here too.
New project happening, very exciting. And this is what true redevelopment looks like in the city, and what can happen with our new director upstairs. This is a project through Community Action, and it is, it's called Beeson Townhomes. And this project is over a widespread area off of Gallatin Avenue. And what they've done is all of these properties were captured by the Redevelopment Authority under Mark Brayful, the majority of them. And what happened with that is then they went into a cooperation with Community Action, a nonprofit. And, so they garnered this money, they come up with a project, and we're going to have a community center that's going to be built off of there. It's going to be 2 apartment buildings, and there's going to be townhomes with 2 units and stores. So, and what this is all geared for is, this is geared to bring people in with low income and bring them up and work towards an opportunity where they can, at the end of this, they can purchase something. So that's geared for that. And I would like to see more of these projects happen. I would like to see that the Redevelopment Authority gets involved in like a threshold program, which is, there's some preliminary talks with that. I think that the director will touch base on that. So just a little update with that. All the commercial is under alert program, so there is some commercial abatement on taxes, but the residential area is in this because the city has not adopted anything for LARDA or DARPA. I believe that is what it's called. I'm not real good on that acronym. I'll come back with that. So, and these are all properties that we're trying to turn the blight, and this is the focus. And if we can get more of these organizations to do these kinds of things, and this is where the city officials step up and support these kinds of buildings, this turns the blighted area and it recreates the community right there.
Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
Councilman Billy pretty much nailed it on the head. He covered everything. And I'm sure you can see the way things have changed with the different buildings down being taken care of, like on Gallatin Avenue.
City missions as well.
Yes. So I think this is fantastic, so yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes, and not only that, down the road, it'll definitely increase revenues for the city.
It increases the tax base in the future. The whole purpose of these programs is that, you know, this brings up the value. And this is the only way that we can combat budget, is value. We have to increase our value. We you know, not only do we have to increase our millage rate to buffer the budget line, but the only true way is, besides creating revenue, which is you're just saying we're going to create this revenue, historical values and property values, and if we can take these low values, we'll just say, because this is what it is, it's a third of our city that the other 2/3 is taken care of. So if we have a third of the city that we can recreate and build a tax base for the future, that is going to be sustainable there, instead of always having to come back to the taxpayers and then also with revenue.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Sorry about that, Mayor.
Words well spoken. Thank you.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown, it is hereby resolved by authority of the same that the mayor of the City of Uniontown be authorized and directed to submit the attached traffic signal maintenance agreement, to submit future modifications to the attached traffic signal maintenance agreement, and to submit future applications for traffic signal approval, either in writing or via electronic signature, to the Department of Transportation, and to sign this agreement on behalf of the City of Uniontown. Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to authorize an engineering traffic study by City Engineer K2 Engineering for stop signs on the corner of Virginia Avenue and Jane Lane and the corner of Virginia Avenue and Cecil Street. Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mr. Billy?
So the real quick answer to your guys' question earlier, after this traffic study, the study is going to tell us exactly what's appropriate to do right there. So that's where all of the solution is going to come from, is that study. Yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
Through my regular job during the day, I drive through here, and just a few times I've been through there, I've seen the exact same thing. It's pretty rough. I mean, it's only fair that we approve this so we can get a study to see what happens with this. And the reason I asked about the no parking is, if it's gonna be separate, I encourage everyone to do the same thing. Please come in and ask for the study for that as well. I didn't know if it was gonna be included or not, but yes for this.
Mayor Gurke?
Just want to thank Kelly Trott for bringing that to my attention and spearheading this. Thank you. And of course, I vote yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown to authorize the purchase of compost site tools from Napa Auto Parts for $699. Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
Johnny, can you just give a real quick overview of what this is going to do, what we need this for the compost site?
These are just tools used for basic maintenance. The machine came with a set of tools we bought it, but I believe the machine was 2015, so it was 9 years, 10 years, and some of the tools to the point where the road was unusable now. That machine's been like, man, it's a lot of maintenance before we get beat up.
And then real quick, is this $699 our half? And then,
That's the total, so that would be the $699 we broke in half.
so South Union would pay half of that? Okay, thank you, yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown, whereas the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Department of Transportation is the agency charged with granting permits to allow the placement of signs or banners within states' rights-of-way. This is an application for an overhead banner for the annual turkey trot that is on November 23rd. Mr. Billy?
Yes, and also, can I make a recommendation that we update the form? that we update the street closure request form.
Oh.
Wherever you guys tell me how much we're doing to get the bill.
Cool, thank you.
Tell me what's lacking and what needs changed, and it'll be done tomorrow morning.
The name?
Thank you.
The name?
I'll give you after Jared.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a quick fix.
Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Monthly reports, redevelopment. Ms. Simmons.
I left the report for you in advance. We had our CDBG status meeting on October 12th. Our next meeting is November 9th. The application was submitted on October 27th. That's the allocation outlined around $311,000. The application was submitted for Calvary United Methodist Church to install a playground on Clark Avenue. The second activity was demolition, which goes towards demolishing the blighted structures. I also included the quick glance review sheet, which outlines Lemon Street Playground, which is underway. It's actually probably near completion. The walking trails was installed as the last project update that I have for this week. The other activity at Lemon Street Pavilion, we expect a March 1st completion. The extensions were approved for that contract, so all we need to do now is get the pavilion out to bid. So we have until March 1st. So we may have to delay it until spring to get the pavilion, depending on how the bids come in. The expiring CDBG funds, the modifications hearings are to be scheduled. This was same as last month. We have 3 activities that are planned, but we have to put the modifications in a public forum, and we'll schedule those individually. We'll probably schedule one nearby Grant Street, probably here for State Theater, and then One Voice Community Tutoring Project would be held at their location. And so those will be advertised in the newspaper and pushed out on the Redevelopment Authority Facebook page. K2 Engineering attended the first sewage transportation meeting, and we have a second scheduled on November 21st. There are 3 sewage deficiencies that were identified, some of which fall under the corrective action plan. I feel that we could submit an application February 13th to fund at least one of those. So that's underway. We hope to also, through the sewage and transportation meeting, identify street paving and inventory a review of the needs of the infrastructure. So we have an idea of where we need to pursue future funds. The Home Investment Partnership application, I reported last month that it was submitted. I just received an email today from the DCED grant manager requesting a meeting on November 10th, which is good news. They are asking for some additional information, so I feel that that's a good thing. So I'm confident that maybe we might soon be moving forward with a home contract. That's the contract for existing owner-occupied housing rehabilitation, and we are continuing to solicit interest from homeowners that may need rehabilitation on their home that they own, but we're encouraging any owners or home renters to fill out the form to where we can collect data and we can better understand the housing stock. So I would recommend anyone apply for that. We recently partnered with USDA. USDA 504 program is a program for very low income individuals to rehab their home. If you are over the age of 62 and need rehabilitation, I strongly encourage reaching out to the Redevelopment Authority. We just entered into that agreement to prepare applications on behalf of USDA. We wouldn't be the funder, but we would provide the assistance to do so. So we're pulling people from our wait list that looks like they would be eligible for those funds and trying to help them apply for that. Next month, the Pennsylvania Housing Affordability Rehabilitation Enhancement Fund will open or accept Fair Housing Finance Agency applications on November 17th to be exact. We are looking at Winona Street. We own quite a few properties on Winona Street, specifically beside each other, three or four beside each other, and then there's some other properties owned by that are empty lots. So we want to reach out to those owners, and there's 3 structures that lease that's burned right there on Winona. We felt that that's a good area to just choose an area to designate and make an attempt to do a little at a time and possibly get a grant next month for single-family home construction. So we are talking to Threshold, we're talking to Level Communities, having conversations with Community Action. We're learning how we can either partner or how we could either work with a contractor, depending on how costs work out, to maybe install or construct some single-family homes there. It'd be well advanced in the future, but we own like almost the full street, so we might as well keep going. So that there'll be more to come, and any questions or concerns about that, you can contact the Redevelopment Authority. We have 3 pending property sales, and we have many other properties that if someone would be interested in purchasing, they can reach out to the authority and make an offer on the property. We do want to get to the point where we're advertising some of those properties, because we have a few very nice properties that are side by side that may be a very nice location for someone to build, and we do want to encourage home ownership, so that could be an option in the future as well. We have our mapping finalized, which is exciting. We have many amenities and different things mapped out through Connect Explorer. And then we have in hand just today the deeds of the next 14 properties that we purchased. Hopefully 6 of those could potentially be houses that are rehabilitated or houses that would need to be demolished. Some vacant lots. We will add that to our inventory of properties. Story Square maintenance, that is still underway. We don't have an agreement quite yet, but we want to work with the city to see how we can outline that, being as there is some maintenance needed there. So we want to continue to have those conversations of how we can work towards getting Story Square kind of ironed out in an agreement. We've already discussed downtown Uniontown Business District is helping with the Christmas in the Square this year, November 24th, 4 to 8. There's an events page, and we are still accepting sponsorships. We've had some great sponsors so far that will be presenting the event, which includes the Herald Standard, State Farm, and Lee's Plumbing. And those are the presented by sponsors, but there's a few other sponsors as well that will show up in the advertising. So we want to thank them and continue setting up vendors and identifying the areas. The event will be held in the 911 lot and Story Square, and several streets will be closed, and that was approved today on the agenda. The City of Uniontown Economic Development Cooperation Agreement is is being drafted to be presented to the city. We look forward to any possible future discussions on the rental registration program compliance. I had organized a potential online registration and payment receipt through this online process that we use. If that is something that we can continue to discuss. If not, let me know, so I'm not investing time in something that would otherwise not be something we would have. We have a potential budget allocation, which would hopefully allow us to assist the county with their municipal assistance planning grant, which is required to date a letter explaining why phase 1 is not in compliance with the municipal planning code, so we can draw that grant funding down and not have to return it. So that letter, we'll have future conversations regarding that letter, who it will come from. The next meeting for the Planning Commission is scheduled November 6th. We hope that we can continue to help facilitate that, to include the blight remediation plan, which at this point is on hold until it could be coordinated and management capacities discussed. Any questions on my report?
Yeah, actually I do. I'm curious. The properties that the redevelopment authority owns and the ones that they're getting ready to take complete ownership of, so the ones that are not in too bad of shape, theoretically, could somebody purchase these homes off the authority and then also come back to the authority and get a home rehab grant?
I would say that it could be reviewed, but my concern would be, we have 24 people on the list right now. Our wait list is first come, first serve. There is an emergency advancement process, which sometimes will move somebody to the top of the list, like if they have no heat or something and there's no other option, or there's some criteria that could bump you up. Otherwise, even if a few people are moved, they would be at the end of that list. But it could happen if some were to purchase. I don't think that there's a requirement on the length of time you have to own a home to apply. Well, I know that. But there is a requirement that you have to live there for the next 5 years.
And the reason I bring it up is I can't find a better situation where someone that is in a not a good situation, but they still have a small bit of capital where they could purchase something at a reasonable sell price off of the authority. And then turn back around and be able to then capture some of this grant money to then boost the value of their home.
Well, and really, I don't know what
stopped. That would be a great way to utilize that program and keep it right there.
Well, you're right, and the 502 program and the 504 program through USDA that we're helping package, they could also look at something like that. The 502 program actually helps you. If I understood correctly, which I'm still learning, it can build or rehab a home. So they could use the 502 program to purchase the home. I mean, putting those two programs together would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. So people, if you're interested in that and what we're talking about here with the redevelopment authority, go up and see Crystal, and just bounce the ideas and see if you're able to make that feasible. Another thing, I just want to say that, and let the gentleman at the table know that I am in full support of the regulated rental agreement or landlord registration, whatever you want to call it. I'm in full favor of that going to the redevelopment authority. The city has not been able to manage it properly. We've had a few years, we've proved it. This is an opportunity. Now, and I'm not saying that there's no revenue created, because there is. It's just a shortfall for the city to have to budget this in every single year and expect this revenue and then have a shortfall. Because when we have the shortfalls and then we spend too much, you're quickly going in a direction you don't want to go. And I just want to express to everybody here, because I heard a little bit of static, I just want to express to everybody here what a great idea to support this move upstairs. And the reason is because the redevelopment authority is looking for extra revenue, small revenue, so that they can get more personnel, so that they can do more for the city. And this is a place where if the city's shortfalling, it's already in effect. Okay, it's already in effect. All you have to do is just take the program. You've heard what the director had said that she is already ready to roll out with. I think that this is. Now, flip side, takes revenue away from the city. Yes, it does take revenue away from the city, but look at what we're able to gain from that small amount of revenue that we give upstairs. We are able to get for that small little bit that we're going to give upstairs, the return is going to be on the greater, okay? And it's big vision. You have to have big vision of this. You have got to be able to see down the road, not what's right in front of you, okay? My term ends in 2 years. I'm trying to set things up for that future, okay? This is the direction. This is how we go. We have to redevelop. We have got to create a new revenue base. We have to lift that up. This is no better way. It happens in so many different layer, multi-phase with this. It makes more sense. It's able to get the numbers that the director needs for statistics to get the grants that she needs with the state. It's a win. And I urge everybody here to support them. And please don't backslide.
I appreciate that. I'm really excited to see how that could work. I do know that the landlords oftentimes are kind of neglected to the point that they do have several rentals, and there's landlord programs that could be established. And I think that would be a great marry-up, rather than negative reinforcement of fines. Maybe there's some positive reinforcement to create a landlord program for low-interest loans, or landlord support, or any of those programs that a lot of the other cities and housing authorities and redevelopment authorities incorporate. So it's all exciting.
Where can people go to submit these applications?
For the housing rehab?
Yeah, anything that you guys cover for applications for any kind of assistance, housing rehab, where can they go to actually apply for this?
We just updated our website at uniontownredevelopment.com, and the contact us boxes, they can email the authority. There's links to the forms to select. You use a form, adds you to a wait list, and then what we do is we reach out to you and give you the program that fits best for you. So we would provide an application at that point, but first we just get a link out there for them to apply. So on our website, we push a lot of stuff out on our Facebook page too.
Perfect. I just helping people find the way to apply.
Good. Yep. And call the office, email me. All right.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
One thing real quick I wanted to touch on with this report. $76,000 for demolition of these blighted structures. So one thing I've learned while I've been on council is it is not an overnight process to be able to demolish a blighted home. Really, the process is very lengthy. Technically, somebody owns these properties. They may not even know be aware that they own them through an estate. So there is a lot of research done. It can take anywhere up to 6 to 10 years because we have to figure out who owns these projects or these homes, and then you can see that it's not free for us to tear these down. So I just want people to know that it's not just hey, this is a horrible looking house, it's blighted, we're going to tear it down. It does not work that way. And I didn't realize the process until I got on council, and it's very eye-opening. And I just want to throw that out there that it's not just an overnight process to tear down a blighted home. So we really do our best with what we can and what we have available. So I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, I'd like to agree and just add to it as well. And it's on every aspect of what we do here. You come into this and you feel that you're very well informed. I came into this in 2014 and believed that I was extremely informed with what was going on. And then you get on and you realize that you don't know what's going on, and that things, and I came from my own business, okay, which when I made a change, it happened very quickly. And things in government and even it's Uniontown, low local government, little small Uniontown, but these things, they take a long time to come back around. And I think the sweep and the landlord agreement, I think those two right there, it's a perfect example of how long things actually take to go back around. Is these things were started to be talked about when I was on council before, didn't come in, and then we did get the sweep in, but that has taken time to go back around. And especially with the registration, that has taken some time, and there are setbacks. But I think that it'll be best if it goes to the redevelopment authority. I agree with you, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of homes we would like to go around and say, okay, that one down, that. And a lot of times the mayor will get complaints about this blighted house, this blighted. We can only do what we can do legally as well as financially. I cannot believe the red tape you have to go through. I hate to say it that way, but the things you have to go through to try to validate who owns it, verify these things, and go from there. So
everyone on council and the mayor especially, we've been trying our best to get rid of these blighted places, but we can only do what the law allows us and what we can afford.
I think that the city has shown momentum with it. I mean, it's not like that it's been stagnant and these things haven't been moving. You know, we are taking this. It's a slow process. I'm not asking anybody to give me time on making things happen. I'm just saying that's the raw reality of the situation here. You know, and you can get it right into the garbage, contract and that, and and it's only right, okay? So it's only right for us to field these phone calls and take the slack as much as we take the credit. I'm not going to say that I don't agree. I mean, I foot the bill just like everybody else. We're all in the same boat. All the elected officials, we're all in the same boat. We have to pay those things too. We were talking earlier, and that was something that, where I feel that I lacked on that was, getting caught asleep with the contract running out. So that's my focus on the next 2 years is at the beginning of the year, we need to know what contracts are going to be expired. And you would think that we would think about those kinds of things, and that's what we would just do it. But, that's something right now with this situation that, I think that we all should be paying attention to, so this doesn't happen again. And I share the same feelings with everybody when it comes to, the non-collection. It's sad. Us that pay, we are paying for the service. For those that don't, that continues the service, because it's a double-edged sword, because we would be sitting here with the opposing arguments of why aren't we having our garbage picked up, and I think it's it's unfortunate that we only had one company bid, but that's what happens. You're dealing with big companies. And I think if you talk to your neighbors in your neighboring townships, you'll find out it's the same company. Good for them. I'm not saying anything bad about them because that's business. I wish we would have had more local contractors put the bids in. And I also understand why they don't. In the years past, when, I went through a garbage contract, you went with the big guy because they owned the landfill, and that's what it was. It's unfortunate, the situation. I share the burden. Don't think that any of us don't understand. I do. I'm here also to take as much beat up on it as you guys want to give to. So, and I know maybe none of you maybe even be here for that, but also for the people that call. I've taken a lot of phone calls, and I know everybody up here that has as well. And thanks, thanks for calling. Thanks for showing that concern and giving the ideas, because I had a lot of conversation with a lot of good ideas. None of them are quick fixes. So that is a lengthy process. And rest assured that we may not all agree on what we're going to do, but we do agree that we're going to try to make a fix on this and try to come up with something here in the future that's best for the city. There are a couple options. We just don't exactly know what it's going to be. None of it is a quick fix, and the contract is what it is.
And not to be long-winded, but actually, I was going to bring up the exact same thing. So if you want to bid out a contract to have your roof replaced in your home, you have one bid. You're stuck. And when some of the bigger companies come together and join as one, we're all, like Jared said, we're all in the same boat. I'm not happy about it. But when we get one bid, there's nothing really the city can do. And I've been getting my ear beat. And I understand. But there's nothing, just so people know, there's nothing we can do. We can't just say, well, we're not going to take your bid. Well, then we're really stuck, because then we don't have garbage pickup. So it's very frustrating that we don't have more bids coming in. But as far as council and city goes, we can't control that. The only thing we can do is accept the one bid that we have, or we're really going to be in trouble. So I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you, because I was going to bring up the same thing, because I've been getting an ear beating about the garbage, but we're stuck.
Yeah, and we also that's what we also signed for. Also touch base on what Mayor was saying at the beginning. We have got to hold people accountable. We can't just push it along onto the company and go, well, why wasn't the company doing it? Okay, We have got into this contract. We have 6 months, and we've talked about it before. The mayor has been on the radio, and he talked about it. We're giving the delinquent accounts 6 months to clear it up before we start going with the process that needs to be taken.
Which didn't help the situation was there's a 32% uncollectible rate. So 32% of their business, they didn't get their monies for that.
And then another thing
That's
is,
just in the city.
people have said to me, okay, so what are the garbage men going to know which house not to pick up the garbage at? I mean, it's difficult for everybody. So you can't just say, well, they didn't pay, we're not going to pick it up. And then if that's the case, watch this mountain of garbage get huge. So it just, like I said before, just to let everyone know that we really are not enthused about this whatsoever.
I'll tell you what I do remember, is I do remember when we did not have garbage pickup. And that was right when Mayor Fike came in and had to make that tough decision, okay, to go away with that. And I know what it was like to live just 1 month or so. I can't really remember exactly how long it was, but that seemed like eternity, okay? And the problems that created citywide, you can't stop the service. And so, that's kind of the double edge we have. I'm still up for any of you, Mr. Shazer, you have a lot of ideas. So if you have any ideas on this, I'd like to know.
Anybody, please.
We got to get creative for the future.
Let's get our monthly reports done, then we'll get to.
I apologize about that.
That's okay.
I know there was
something. If we can get our
something
monthly
that I wanted to
reports,
touch
then we'll have public comment. We'll have plenty of time for that, if that's okay with everyone.
Yes.
Fire Department, Chief Quam.
All right, good evening, everyone. As we always start off, give a little rundown of the, just so you can hear me a little better there. Rundown of the incidents that we had for the month of October. We had 11 fire-related incidents. These included 3 building fires, 1 furnace fire, 1 cooking fire confined to the stovetop, 3 trash fires, 1 passenger vehicle fire, 1 smoke scare but no active fire resulted, and 1 scorch burn but no ignition. Again, 2 close calls. Fortunately, of those 3 building fires, 2 of them were out-of-town assists, and the one that we had really wasn't too terribly bad. So it's good for us trying to help keep the property value up too. So I think we're doing okay with that. 25 rescue-related incidents, 18 being motor vehicle collisions. 5 of those were resulted in injuries. 2 persons entrapped in a vehicle collision. It's been kind of busy for those as of late. 3 removals of an ill or injured person from a building, assisting with the EMS crews. 1 animal rescue, and 1 removal of a person from a stalled elevator. We had 11 hazardous conditions. These included 5 natural gas leaks, 2 overheated motors, 1 carbon monoxide incident, 2 power lines down, 1 arcing or short circuit piece of equipment. We had 17 service-related incidents. These included 8 lockouts or gaining access for the EMS crews, 3 person in distress incidents, 1 assist the police detail, 1 cover assignment for another fire company, and 4 general public service incidents. We have 1 minor hazardous materials incident, ran 12 fire alarm activations. We were pretty busy last month. 7 witnessed fire drills in public facilities, and as I always say, these include the facility staff training, and our personnel do our pre-incident planning and building familiarization. And we conducted 6 public fire education programs. Also do a rundown of the training that was taken or conducted by our personnel. For the month of October, we had 75 man-hours of training. Moving on to apparatus and equipment updates, about the only thing we have on the horizon. Next week, they're going to be doing the ladder testing that I reported on a couple months ago. Just a couple of miscellaneous things. It reported last couple months that Fire Prevention Week was approaching. Well, it came and the efforts were really, really good. We had a lot of success this year. Most of the programs scheduled that week were children's programs, and we reached over 125 children in that time, so that's pretty good in just a week's time. Ran some numbers over the year so far. We've reached about 500 people of various ages with our public fire education programs. Now, this actually does not include, as I just said, staff and facility training, outreach that we do at the city events, so on and so forth. I don't know if we could add that number up, though, but it makes you very proud, so you're reaching literally thousands of people in the city in a year's time. So, like I always tell our guys, shake hands, kiss babies, and let them know you're open for business. So that's what we're trying to do out there. And we'd like to thank everybody who supports us with that, though. Also, I'd like to remind anyone, if you have a group, a facility, again, I say this every month, please give us a call if you would like to conduct a drill, a program, or anything of that nature. On a couple other final notes, we just received a request from the North Pole and to see if we could deliver Santa this year for the downtown events on November 24th, and we will gladly oblige him. Sometimes it's a challenge to find where we're going to put those reindeer, but we manage somehow. So, all is good. Speaking of Christmas, our department, along with numerous other public safety agencies, is again conducting the Toys for Tots drive. We have that open right now. Donations can be dropped off at the Central Fire Station, and that's 84 North Beeson Avenue. As well, our department every year conducts a boot drive for the Salvation Army. I would like to ask council's blessing that our folks, we do that on Christmas Eve day, that we would be permitted to go take the streets and collect for Salvation Army. So, and it's been a very, very successful campaign. We've just raised thousands upon thousands of dollars over the years for that. So it's all good. On a real good note, our department recently received one of the Best in Fayette Awards that were given out, and that's a big honor for us, and we're very grateful. So Brian, thanks to your folks and everyone who's supported with that. It's, again, it's a very big honor, so we very much appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. And then to finish up, how do I always finish up, folks? What's tonight? Bingo. There you go, 6:45, which is coming up. Matter of fact, doors are open right now. Any questions, comments, or anything?
Well, I appreciate the exercise because I've never had 1 month without an elevator rescue.
No problem. No problem. So, yep, that's what we're here for. So, thank you all for your support, Council.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks, Chief.
Thanks.
Congratulations to Chief.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Police Department, Chief DeWitt.
What's that?
Report.
Report. I actually, unless you want this.
No, you can email it.
I was going to say, this is just my news, but I can send you the form on this one.
Yeah.
Did you send that? I thought I had it.
Chief.
I'll send it over. Hey, what happened?
What's that?
All right, so during the month of October, the Uniontown Police Department responded to 712 calls for service. A breakdown of some of those calls included 20 vehicle accidents, 9 assaults, 1 robbery, 5 frauds, 29 welfare checks, 30 domestics, 4 assist fire calls, 14 disorderly conducts, 51 traffic complaints, 25 emergency medical assists, 10 assist other police, 20 harassments, again another good number, 1 shot fired call, 14 alarms, 18 thefts, 6 public intoxications, 16 animal complaints, and 58 suspicious persons activities vehicles, 4 overdoses, none of which Narcan was provided by officers on these. The public availability of Narcan is actually intervening much faster than the officers can get there, which is a good thing because it's saving lives before the first responders have to administer that. So kudos to the public for, and our government, honestly, for allowing that to happen, saving more lives than they can probably count. Officers made a total of 36 criminal arrests, issued 18 non-traffic citations, and 64 traffic citations. We conducted our vehicle and foot patrols of the city parks as well as the Sheepskin Trail. During the month of October, code enforcement closed 30 cases, opened 35 new cases, and is carrying over approximately 35 cases. The city recently hired Wayne Brown, I believe at the last council meeting, as a part-time code enforcement officer. Code enforcement will be taking on additional tasks that will be assigned by the city in the coming days and weeks, as well as additional meetings we're going to be having with members of the administrative staff up here to make that process a little bit easier as well. Additionally, the sweep ordinance will be in the forefront for enforcement action taken against those property owners and tenants who are not complying with the ordinance. Take that as your warning. You will be getting citations posted to your door or hand delivered to you. The two code enforcement guys are going to be, I'm leaning pretty hard on them at this point. It is coming. There were no known issues with the trick or treat that took place this past Tuesday. Additionally, the Halloween parade, which is put off by the Fayette County Chamber of Commerce, was, for lack of better words, heavily attended. That's the most amount of people I've seen at that parade in my 13 years at the city. We made some minor changes, obviously, to the way we do things, and we're going to make it better again for next year. And we'll be able to use that across different parades that we use across the whole year. There were a few issues related to parking and a disturbance in front of the state theater that was associated with the parade. Officers attended to those quickly and moved everyone along and dealt with the issues at hand. I'm proud to announce at this point that our body cam program, I spent the last 2 days, 12 hours yesterday, 12 hours today, and I'll be doing probably a 13-hour day tomorrow. Our body cams are actually installed now. They are functioning in our police cars. We have a couple more installs to do with the cars, but the body cams will be functional. I have a 13-hour day of train the trainer, instructional stuff. So the body cams are coming. You'll probably see officers by the middle of next month wearing the body cams. They'll become a full-fledged program, fully functional with policies in place. We already have the policies drawn up, but there's a grace period we have to allow. I'm betting by the middle of January we're under a full-fledged body cam program, which has been a long time coming, and I think it's going to lower our liability a lot for frivolous lawsuits and the like. Additionally, Act 22, if you're not familiar with Act 22, look it up online. That is the, Tim, correct me if I'm wrong here, it's the act that controls body cam, the right to know requests for the body cams. It's its own separate form. Act 22 permits law enforcement agencies to charge a reasonable fee to provide a copy of an audio or video recording. Uniontown Police Department has established a starting fee of $100 per recording for a granted audio or video recording. This fee structure is in line with the Pennsylvania State Police. It mirrors theirs nearly exactly. Just as so everyone knows what's going on, there's a whole separate form. Council, any questions? Thank you all.
Thank you, Chief. Thanks for your service as always. Director of Public Works, Mr. Podolinsky.
Hi, good evening, everyone. First, I'd just like to start off, as the mayor said, we did complete the next portion of the sheepskin trail. I think it turned out well with our small crew there. We worked good together and we did get the job done. I'd like to thank South Union for donating the roller to lay the asphalt and the gravel base material. They were quick to help us and let us use their machine for the time frame that we needed it. And I'd just like to thank them. Also, I'm on the subject of South Union. They are joint with us in the compost site operating the recycling material, and over the past few weeks they have been coming down and we've been able to keep up with the income of material, and they've been a great help keeping the site clean and being able to process it all and remove it in a timely manner where we're not overflowing. There's more material than you would think comes into that site. The street department is getting ready to gear up the plow trucks here. It's going to be difficult, but we always do a good job, I think, with snow removal. And this year, we hope to tackle it and get it done as we have in the past. This month's sewage collections was $193,781.75, bringing the total year to date to to $2,863.83. Again, as I always say, the women in that office, they work hard and they're always quick to answer the phone calls for anybody that has any issues. I know that they have taken multiple phone calls or people walking in about the garbage issue also. So it's a citywide thing that every director or every employee is almost dealing with or influenced by, or also having to pay the burden, as everyone said. We've had some breaks with our small crew. We have been contracting out some of the excavations. Hopefully, we have the equipment, but our crew is just small at this moment. Hopefully, we can get some people here and we'll be able to keep that in-house, because I know that contracting out excavations is not cheap, but it is needed to keep the system operational. I do look forward to working with the redevelopment director, Crystal, to tackle and go after some money for some of our inadequate and outdated systems. That way we can update it and start to adhere to all the guidelines that'll be cracking down on us if we do not start complying. Other than that, that's all I really have. If anybody has any questions.
No, I just appreciate you and South Union with the communication and cooperation you have. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. Always appreciate you. Time for public comment. Rules are on the doors, 3 minutes. Just keep it brief and we'll answer all the questions you have. So if we have any public comment, it's the time now to express your opinions. Any public comment? You want to? Yeah, if you would, please. Thank you.
My name is Terry Shacer. I'd like to thank Mr. Podolinsky for his crew coming up. We did have a little bit of a sewage issue this past spring into summer, and they did fix it. So I'd like to say thank you. Also, I don't know if this would be possible, but when landlords have tenants, they can place, the city can place a lien letter, right? If they don't pay their sewage bill, can that be done for the trash?
Tim, you want to answer that question? We had a conversation about it. Solicitor Wood can answer that question best, okay?
So that, it's a great question. And that goes back to what council's been addressing. The city does have very limited methods and means open to it to actually address the trash issue. We're increasingly in a less competitive environment when it comes to trash collection, fewer companies through consolidations and whatnot, which once again, as Councilman Billy pointed out, we only received one bid. So, it really, really makes it difficult. Generally, if the city is not collecting the actual trash bill itself, the city cannot lien for the cost of that. The actual collector, if they're collecting the bill, they would have to proceed through the process of taking the customer to the magistrate and then obtaining essentially a judgment lien that way, which unfortunately is not a particularly effective method, which is partially explains why our delinquency rate is as high as it is. That's one of the things that I think council has the intention of evaluating what some options would be in the future to try and get creative and hopefully address that issue and keep that rate as low as possible. It's a tectonic issue that you're seeing all across Western Pennsylvania. They were just in the news the other day. Another city to the north of us, they'd gotten their bids in, and it was a three times increase of what they were normally paying. So it's not unique, unfortunately, to just here in Uniontown. But I can assure you that the folks up here are going to be evaluating ways to potentially try to get creative, come up with some solutions. It's just a matter of trying to accomplish that most effectively for the taxpayers in the city's budget.
So that would be perfect for the new people that are getting ready to come on. Be prepared for this. Okay, these are things that we have to address, and I hope that that the people that are running here next week, that the 4 individuals have really paid attention, okay? Have paid attention to us up here talking about many different things, arguing, bantering, going back and forth. Usually it's me. But I hope people have paid attention. And because what I'm looking for next year is that we hit the ground and we continue to roll, okay? There's gonna be many things that people aren't gonna understand. It took me a little bit of a learning curve as well. The fire department was the absolute best place for me to be as a junior councilman. Okay, this is where I learned a lot. A lot I have to accredit to Chief Gricker, okay? I'm telling you, it gave me a great opportunity to really find, what the city was about. And, couldn't have been with better people. The only thing better would have been under the police department, and that means I would have had to been mayor. So, but anyways, we have a budget coming up that we're going to introduce at the end of the month. Okay, the clerk and the associates in the administrative office are working extremely diligent. And at the same time, we're under an audit that we're trying to clear up that dates back to when, with the treasurer department. Okay, so we're moving through that. We're going to introduce the budget. We have some more trimming to do, which leads me to say that the wish lists are completely out. Every department that had a wish list, forget about it. It's not going to happen, okay? That means everything. Because what's more important is that the people that work for the city get paid, and that we are able to pay the pensions, and we're able to do everything necessary that the city's obligations are. That means we got to get tight, okay? Guess what? This year, City Hall didn't get a roof. It's not going to get a roof, okay? It's too late in the year. People want to put a bid out? Crazy. Why would we put a bid out for a roof right now? Okay, over $100,000, and we're pension. It's not smart. So I'm asking the 4 individuals that are running for council that they really think about things and think about the future of Uniontown and what direction they would like to see. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I want to be a part of the future of Uniontown in a good direction. We don't have to agree, okay? But we have got to have the same common purpose to move this city in the right direction. That's what I'm asking for. I haven't really talked much politics up here. I think it's very important. Okay, these races are important. These future decisions, these are big things, and we cannot have individuals that want to see right in front. Okay, well, if you're looking at what's right in front of you, you've already got hit. Okay, we have got to think in the future, and we got to make plans that we're going to do things in the future. That's why it's very important to work with the redevelopment. It's extremely important. I can't stress that enough. And I'm hoping that the new people that are getting ready to come on, the 2 new individuals out of the 4, and frankly, I don't care which 2 it is. I'm looking forward to continuing, and it's just as I work with the 2 that are leading. Okay, I appreciate everybody and everything that we've all done here. We've had many disagreements, and that's okay. But good luck to everybody. Okay, keep it clean. Be very helpful to people when they're out there at the polls. Okay, be very mindful, very kind, and be helpful to people that are out there. Let's not knock each other down. We're Democrats, we're Republicans, we're Libertarians, whatever you are, Green Party, it doesn't matter. Okay, we're from Uniontown, and I promise you that when something goes wrong, we're going to be looking to each other to help. Okay, but every 2 times a year, we get distracted and we go our separate ways, and we can't talk, and we can't do these things. But I'm telling you, let's come together for the 2 people that are going to be on. Let's plan for the future. We got a lot of projects that are coming on. We have money that has to be spent. We'll spend it.
Tim, real quick question on the trash. Is it possible for you guys to issue citations at all, like North and South Union Township, other than liens?
So with respect to, it's not an option to cite property owners for failing to pay their garbage bill. And that lies that creates the problem where essentially you can cite people for accumulations of trash or garbage on their property, but that means that the collections have to have stopped at their property in order for those accumulations to occur. So that becomes the issue, and that's one of the modifications in the current contract, that under certain circumstances, the garbage company is able to suspend collections, which then enables the city, if there's accumulations of garbage, to address that through the code enforcement process. Yep.
Any other public comment this evening? Yes, sir. Take the stand.
As a council, don't you have some responsibility to go out and find bids? Only one person bid. Can't you go out and solicit somebody who might want to do it?
I don't believe you can do that. You can go out and
I would
solicit
think
business.
as good city government, somebody should do it.
So we did.
Who did you go
So
to? Did you
we're
go-
required to go through a public bidding process.
Well, you did that. That didn't
And
work.
so that went through the process. In addition to that, though, we posted it, advertised it as it was required to do, and we affirmatively went out to 6 different companies.
Did you
And
go see them personally?
We submitted and provided them with
Did you
copies
go out
of the
and see
bids.
them personally and
Well,
talk to them?
So if we're talking about directly soliciting companies, we're not permitted to directly
You're not
solicit a company
permitted.
like that.
But I got to pay my bill. That's ridiculous.
All of us, sir. I agree with you.
You know, I know,
absolutely
Jared.
agree with you on this.
Can we post people's names who aren't paying? Can we put it in the paper and say, he didn't pay, he didn't pay, he didn't pay, and embarrass him?
So we don't have that information
You
here
don't
at the
have
city
information
because
here?
we don't do the billing.
Well, why don't you call the bill company that collects and get that information?
We wouldn't provide. We would. I mean,
Why
yeah,
would you do that?
You can't post the undelinquent, the unpaid delinquent
Well, you know
accounts.
what? I say the other 68% of the people should pay you. Put it in your front door or something. Ain't no help at all.
And you know, and I get that. I understand that completely 100%. My mom was the very first person to call me and said the same exact thing. Said the same exact thing. But I'm going to tell you what the solution to that is going to be. What the end cause of that will be is taxes are going to go up because now we got to create that service. So it's either you pay, and this is the reality of it, because it's either you pay the fee, you pay the tax. No matter which way you look at it, it's tax shifting. You know, the legislature and the House, the state, the Senate and the House, for years, how long have we been talking about we're going to do away with property tax and school tax? Okay, it doesn't go away. Okay, but what's that going to do? It's just going to shift it over. The tax don't go away. So these fees, that's the problem. Is that this is what's going to directly happen from it? Is that we would get back into the sanitation business, and that right there, that is an option. But if we could start doing this collection and do it ourselves, and we only save a couple dollars, what does that hold the city to? It holds the city to increasing the legacy fund, which is our pension for the non-uniforms, and it sets out this trajectory. And at the same time, what I'm saying is, I believe in good union jobs. I believe in having these services like that, but that's what happens.
The startup cost would be crazy.
And I'm one of them that pays it as well. And so we're all here, we're sharing that burden. And I agree with that. We do, and we will.
Any other public comment this evening? If not, that's
I have something.
Go ahead, Joe.
On a brighter note, I'd like to thank everyone who did show up for the parade. Like the Chief DeWitt said, we had people lined up from Gallatin Avenue all the way to the 5 corners of Fayette Street on both sides, like it was when I was small. So I want to thank all the people from Uniontown and the surrounding communities, everyone in Fayette County who came to Uniontown that night for our Halloween parade. It was a great success, as the chief said. Everybody behaved themselves like they should. The children were great. And it was over, I think it was, what, an hour and 20 minutes long, the parade?
I believe it was an hour and 30 minutes.
Yep.
We stepped off with the lead cars at the time the last fire truck turned on.
It was a great parade, and like he said, that was one of the best ones in years. So I just want to thank everyone for that, and in all the surrounding communities here in town. Thank you.
Thanks, Councilman.
Okay.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Uniontown, the council hereby adjourns to meet December 7th at 5 p.m. Mr. Billy?
Yes.
Mr. Vasaki?
Yes.
Mr. Winfrey?
Yes.
Mr. Shuhon?
Yes,
Mayor Gurke?
Yes. Thank you all for attending.
a date that will live in infamy. December 7th.
Watch the game tonight?